I would appreciate if you want to get involved.
I think I've said too much to stop.
I think so too. I think you're in for $1, in for a dozen. I don't know what the saying is, but I just listen and eat poop. So just say it. Now, I don't hate this man. I want to say that up front. But I do hate what he said today. And we got to take him down because of what he said. And I'm going to have David Collins help me take him down. And I gave David Collins a warning, and we're going to take him down. So you got to know your enemy.
I must say that your blind Mike artwork adds 10 to 15 pounds for no good reason.
Because then when he sees himself in real life, he's very happy. If I make him too skinny, then he's going to see himself as heavy. I do a favor to my
He
boss.
can't see himself.
You make a point.
It's the AI.
All right, so you need to know your enemy to defeat them, David Collins. And in the morning, we have shows that go up against Blind Mike, and here is one of them. It is called the Win by 2 Podcast. And it's a little man from New Jersey who's a musician and plays basketball. In general, I like him because I like basketball and I like music. But this man came at us wrong. Let's watch.
Yeah, let's watch Blind Mike fucking make an odd comparison here and just bomb left and right. Check this out.
Youre. And then as soon as you said that you talked to him like he's a kindergartner, he's like, and her body sucks. Like,
Yeah, I know. He said he went from wow.
So let me set it up a little bit. On the top left there, you have our hero. On the top right there, you have our daddy. The daddy's here is Carl. Hi, Carl. And on the bottom, you have Gino Bisconte and his girlfriend or wife. Don't remember her name because women are not important.
We've
No,
heard it
it's
so
Gino.
many times today. I'm not even familiar, and I know that it's Keanu.
Okay, so here we go.
Too.
I know nothing
she's
about
not
this
that-
story.
Yes, but not Keanu Reeves. No, this is a woman, Keanu.
Who's reacting to these four?
We are right now. Oh no, the gentleman sitting there. His name is Win by 2 Podcast.
This is a nice studio. I like this.
Yes, he very much likes Red Bar, but I'm not going to call him a Red Bar ripoff because I think that's a ripoff to say that. I'm just saying he likes a good-looking studio. But let's focus. Let's focus
Michael
on what
David
he says.
of Red Bar. I've talked about him on the Johnny O podcast in December, and I have a few interactions with him. I'm not very too familiar. I hear him mentioned sometimes, but he's actually been the kindest person to ever decline being on the show. He sent many nice messages telling that why he would not be on the show. And he's many people just refuse to answer, or they at some point stop responding. He's the only person that I've ever interacted that gave clear, concise responses into why he would not be on the show. And it was very polite. Like nobody I've ever spoken to.
Well, that's because Hackride always says yes, but he's very clear and concise with you.
Well, there is something to be said about this Red Bar, and besides every mention I hear him, and I've tried to watch some of the things, very negative content. I'm not a big fan, of course, but the things that I hear, he seems to be a very nice gentleman. I just wanted to say that since we did get a mention. I'm not sure, is this similar to that format there?
Yes, I wouldn't say it's negative, though. I would say it's critical commentary that is totally protected by fair use.
I believe anyway. I've heard some things.
Yes, so the reason I say that is because watching other people, it's fair use.
Fucking make an odd comparison.
What a
here
kind
and just
gentleman.
Bomb left and right. This out.
Youre. And then as soon as you said that you talked to him like he's a kindergartner, he's like, and her body sucks. Like,
Yeah, I know. He said he went from wow, what a figure to and she's not that pretty. Her body sucks. I'm like, okay.
Well, when I actually dodged a bullet in this whole thing because I broke that when he
Did
talked
you,
about
Blind Mike? Did you dodge a bullet? Did you? How would you be able to tell? You're fucking blind. You can't see. How would you even know? You fucking creep.
Keanu. Yeah. I played a bunch of clips on my show calling John.
So is this guy like special needs? The way he's talking, or he's definitely autistic. One of the two.
The thing that happens, David Collins, is when people without talent run talent. They're like, he's some sort of weirdo, like an autism or weirdo. But the thing is, it's called talent. Because the thing is, with your 1972 Metallica shirt and your $20,000 studio, is it doesn't work when you don't have content or funny. I bet your poop tape's accurate. What do you think, David Collins?
I had a comment, but I was very taken aback by your comment on his outfit. That wasn't even something I drew
He
my
can't
eye
decide
to.
if he wants to be Fred Durst or Lars Ulrich. Decide. Just make a decision.
This zoom that he does, I loved that zoom into what he's talking about. I had talked about that when I had filled in for the Blind Mike project in December. Jerry and I were working on that together, and I had looked at him and I said, wouldn't it be nice if I could zoom in to the people that we're talking about at this moment? And he's doing that exact thing right here.
Yes, and I got to remind you, it hurts very much to be critical of this man because he likes basketball. He is a fan of good art. He's a musician. We should be friends, but he's off base here. I will
Right,
call it an
and
air. Hold on, shut up! I'm going to call it an air ball. You let me get my joke in. Now go ahead, David.
Well, I'm spending time with these comedians. I'm at these venues. One of the most, people call it hack, but I might just call it, one of the most common things that you hear are people making jokes about something being autistic. And the generalization of this seems that the definition is so general at this point that the joke doesn't even land. I think he's a little behind the times when it comes to that type of comedy.
Yes, autistic and narcissistic have lost their edge.
I completely agree with the second word. I think autistic is still finding its way, but I'm sure the population is done with that word, narcissistic.
Yes, because we all are. We all are raised by retard parents.
I played a clip of Stuttering John on my show, and I was hoping that he would watch, and he said he was going to, but then when he didn't, I was like, holy shit, I dodged a bullet.
When he talked about Keanu,
Yeah.
I played a bunch of clips on my show calling John a pig and disgusting and everything.
Yeah.
And John
It's like
tweeted out,
people have already said this about John.
Oh, you mean like people have already said Blind Mike is blind? Oh, no.
People have already said this. Again, that would be like me making fun of
Blind Mike for being blind.
Steel Toe about his begging.
I imagine this person has said this about John, saying that he's saying John on a first name basis. I'm not too familiar with the Stuttering John, of course, but you can't just say John. There are so many Johns. Speaking of, I'm in front of one, but Stuttering John is what you would say. I'm sure
John,
he's
not
familiar
John.
with Stuttering John. Why? And if you're talking about Stuttering John to choose Blind Mike to comment on, I've been more familiar with Blind Mike for the time being here for the last handful of months, and he very rarely comments on this Stuttering John fella.
Yes, he actually didn't even mention that he was going to do it this week, and then he didn't put it in the thumbnail, but I did anyway because you're bad at marketing if you don't put Stuttering John in the thumbnail. But let's get back to this man that has little tiny Asian vaginas where his arms meet.
Who is this man?
This is Win by 2. But do you see where his arms bend there? His arms bend, and there's like a little tiny vagina there.
It's a great studio.
Yes, maybe he's tired of
studio.
fucking himself. It is a great studio. And again, we should be friends. Although I would destroy you in both music and
Although he
basketball.
should face the camera. I don't like his facing. He's giving
There's
the back
two
to the camera.
cameras.
He's giving the back to the camera right now, though, and I don't
No,
agree with
I
that.
have to correct you here, David Collins. This is the camera that's faced at the TV. He has another camera that's faced at his face. And I know because his eyes are all sunken in like a drug head. And I'm a drug head, and I recognize my own.
And calling him
Because they flush all the toilets down me. It's not my fault.
a grifter.
I'm going to go after Blind Mike for like white knighting for Keanu or something. And I was rubbing my hands together. I was like, all right, Johnny, give me a week of shows. And he just never discussed me. I don't know what happened.
So he never discussed. So Blind Mike covered Stuttering John and was really lashing out in hopes that John would give him some content back. To which John said, "You're not worth my time, Blind Mike. I got other people I got to fucking fire back at. I don't even know who the fuck you are, to be quite honest."
See, that is where people need to do their research. Because if they would have just done 5 minutes of research, they would have come up with the $10,000 IQ test that didn't happen. Blind Mike has been deep in this for over a year, so when by two, just do a little research before you drink that big bottle of liquor on you right there. It's like a big round bottle of liquor. It looks great, but it kind of makes you dumb. What do you think, David Collins?
Is he by himself in this studio?
Well, I'm hoping there's a groupie blowing him underneath. That's what's happening beneath me right now. But my guess is there's probably a line of twinks that look very similar to you outside the door waiting for the show to end.
I'd like to see more.
Honest with you.
For like white knighting for Keanu or something. And I was rubbing my hands together. I was like, all right, Johnny, give me a week of shows.
These guys are so fucking stupid. I was rubbing my hands together.
And these guys are making a mint off of recording in their bedrooms.
Well, it
And
is
he is-
ironic that he's
spending. Hold on. And he's spending a mint. All right, go ahead, David Collins.
Well, it is ironic that he's commenting of one thing that I've pulled from Stuttering John. You know, you've distracted. Oh, of course. So here I am. One thing I've pulled from Stuttering John is that when people are responding to him and Stuttering John is responding back, he listens to a clip and he stops it within 2 seconds and then he restarts it and then he stops it again 2 seconds later, opposed to letting someone get a full foolish thought out and then laugh about that full foolish thought. This is somebody who's responding to somebody who's responding to a Stuttering John clip, but then doing the same thing that Stuttering John, it's almost like it skips a generation.
It definitely looks like he's a Stuttering John kid for sure.
In a sense, he's doing the Stuttering John format as someone at a higher level in defending Stuttering John.
Well, David, even though you're a very weird person, you've actually stumbled on something very significant. And that's if you watch the shows that you hate, you eventually become them.
I mean, you really need to go outside and touch grass. Although, like, I understand why you can't because you're blind.
Again, a great joke because he's blind. He can't touch grass, David Collins.
But still, it's like, Jesus fuck, man.
And he just never asked me. I don't know what happened.
What, is he a tree hugger?
God damn it.
But he said, Jesus fuck, that was the tag.
It's almost like it's almost like he's not an intelligent person who knows how to do show prep
He's a drunk.
and figure it out.
No, it's just blind. No, Carl. Oh, he's just like a non-intelligent person who doesn't know how to do show. No, Carl. Nobody knows who Blind Mike is. Nobody really gives a fuck.
I think
No
many
one is-
people know Blind Mike
No
is.
one
In
has
fact,
ever.
you know, as somebody who has just stumbled upon so much of this universe, Blind Mike was almost an introduction. And, you know, to think that Blind Mike isn't being found on the internet is, you know, but I'm not sure exactly. You know, it might just be from my perspective since I haven't heard of this gentleman speaking.
No one knows who Blind Mike is. He's a stranger to the world. Oh, is that him with the guy that has sex with a transsexual? Yes. So some people know him.
This is like the biggest Blind Mike will be, is either on this show or through the lens of my show.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. The biggest he will ever be will be when he takes over for Howard Stern, you retard.
You see, nobody is
Is he going to
demanding
radio?
the service.
Blind Mike will take over all the jobs. He is the chosen one.
I think
Do
my
you
mother is
understand?
planning on canceling her Sirius XM subscription this year.
Well, I will send you a naked picture of Blind Mike to have her keep it for one more year because then he will be
Well,
there.
she doesn't really drive, and I don't use it.
Of blind.
Can you send me a picture of your mother, David Collins?
That would be terrible. It may be from a hospital bed. I would never.
You get a young one where she had Farrah Fawcett hair and nice hips.
Are you okay, Jan?
Mike.
I was thinking of your mother.
You know, again, it's just, if anything, they just feel bad for him because he's blind. So they just tolerate him. But if you
Drink every time he says he's blind.
took away his blindness and he was fully seeing Mike, you know what I mean? Nobody would even turn their fucking head. He's not funny. He doesn't say anything fucking worth noting. Or
He does do a very good
Oh.
Coach HQ impression. I'll say that much.
Yes, this man has never watched Blind Mike even once. It's amazing that you could go. I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna go on someone's show and say this person's terrible. Never gonna watch him.
You know, that's a pretty good, interesting take there, Mike. You know, I didn't think about it that way. He just calls John a pig and a fat ass and everything else that everyone already says about John. So what is it that you're doing different than every other fucking podcast you shit on?
By 2.
Yes, so everyone, I would please take this time to pull out your pens and phones, gearheads, clugomaniacs, the Krager's people, the Kragerphiles, and I want us to let this man know that people know who Blind Mike is. Yes, we have seen him be the first intern hired at Barstool Sports, which is now $1 billion corporation. We know who Blind Mike is because he's been around longer than your mother's twat has been juicy. And so, let's all get together in the Blind Mike world and let Win by 2 know we know who Blind Mike is. And I will play you basketball and music anytime you want. But I really want you just to be a good show and be a good person and realize Blind Mike is a special talent. Bless you, David Collins. What do you think of my statement? I'm not trying to start a fight. I'm trying to educate.
I think I found a different channel. Is this always the same host?
Yes, you're going to want to look for really bad cover songs from songs like today he did a song from Radiohead Creep, and I swear to God my cats ran under the bed.
I mean, maybe it's just your camera view here. And what I'm looking at here, is this not a black man?
The rap music and the silver chain and ghetto slang notwithstanding, he's a Caucasian.
Okay, well, I guess I did find the channel then.
Right, I think in parlance that's not safe to say, but we're demonetized. I think they call him a wigger. I think he's a wigger.
Well, my only comment then is that, of course, this channel is not anything to make a comment saying that Blind Mike will be no bigger than me poking fun at Blind Mike. Your channel, I think, is a quarter of the size of Blind Mike's. Not that either of them are necessarily numbers that should be screamed to the heavens about, but this man seems to be already screaming.
Yes, what you're saying is we need to keep perspective, that we're really all just small channels on public access. And this guy is like, no, I'm bigger than this other guy who's bigger than me. And no, we're all small. We're nothing.
Well, some people have previous careers and have somewhat of a legacy and a national audience, but in terms of our internet following, yeah, everybody should keep perspective.
I agree, David Collins. Anyway, I would encourage everyone to go and follow Win by 2 podcast because I support all content creators, even if they don't like me or Blind Mike. Because that's what it's about. It's about content. It's not about like or don't like. So come back at me, bro. Let's do this.